Southeastern?
Well, a solid win. Pleased with the body of work in the first half. You know, we scored 3 times. Lamar didn't score. It was a shutout at halftime. Our defense had held them to 79 total yards. We really had the game in hand. You know, overall, though, disappointed how we finished the game, particularly on defense. I thought our tackling was not very sharp. Didn't play very physical. Some of our run fits and gap integrity. You know, we did play a little bit more conservative in the second half, higher safeties, assuming that Lamar would, you know, try to throw the ball down the field some, but that never really happened. But we got to play better. We got to get off the field on 3rd and 4th down. I think we only ran 11 offensive snaps prior to taking a knee there the last couple 3 plays of the game. We did have one explosive play, the middle read to Jesse Grandy for 75 yards, and so I was pleased with that. But again, it just seemed to be an uninspired performance. And again, you know, you worry coming off an emotional win, a very physical win. We were down, you know, maybe up to half a dozen regular players that didn't practice during the week and certainly didn't dress. And you know, maybe we were a little tired. But again, it's my responsibility to make sure that we have good game plans and that our players are prepared, you know, each and every week for the game and in each and every half after that. So, but it is a win. Winning the game is the objective. We've made enough plays, obviously, to win. I don't think the game was ever in doubt. And I thought we played very solid in the kicking game with the exception of the fake punt. And give Lamar credit. It was a very aggressive play, very well executed. And in a win, it gives us a teaching opportunity and a learning opportunity for us as coaches, too. So 6-2, 4-1 in the conference, obviously remain extremely relevant moving into the 9th week of the season, you know, for, you know, in the hunt for the conference title or at least a share of it. So move forward with our preparation this week for Southeastern.
Let's say still early in the week, but what's the mindset, I guess, after that, like you said?
Well, I think our players recognize we somewhat went through the motions, and that's not to diminish anything that Lamar did. But they had 2 drives in the second half that consumed 30 plays, 140 some odd yards in 16 minutes, and we just couldn't get off the field, and certainly we couldn't get in any kind of rhythm, you know, in the second half on offense. But they recognize we need to play a little better, and we got to coach a little better, and I got to make sure that all that happens. That's my responsibility. I don't think it, and they understand what lies ahead this week, the significance of this game. Certainly, I think we moved up to 14th in both polls. So, you know, we're right where we want to be, where you hope you be every year, but you're not guaranteed this every year. So we've got to do a good job in preparation. We should get back, you know, 3, 4, 5 guys this week for various reasons. And hopefully that'll help our practices and certainly our depth on Saturday. Well, I mean, you know, I've said this every year, the most talent of any team, as much talent or more than any team in our conference year in and year out. They're long, they're fast, they're athletic, they've got a lot of speed, skill set. You've got a transfer quarterback, senior from Ole Miss, who's starting to hit his stride now. Big, strong young man that can run as well. You know, skilled kids on offense, a very good scheme offensively. Ron Roberts, the new head coach, has done a wonderful job of getting them to buy in. Then defensively, they're a hybrid type of defense. They play 3 down, 4 down. Sometimes they have nobody down, and they're all standing up, you know. So they try to confuse you, and we're going to have to be very sharp in our identification in both the run game and our pass protections. So they present a lot of challenges. Statistically, they've got the top punter in the conference, averaging 44 yards a punt, and a veteran kicker. And certainly with all those athletes, their coverage units and return units are going to be very solid. So it's a huge challenge to go on the road. You know, we always talk about the formula. Win your home games, and we've done that to this point, and try to find a way to steal a couple on the road. We've got one, and certainly this is the one that we've got to get to, you know, to stay in the hunt. But we've got to get healthier, and then certainly we've got to have a little bit more detail and a sense of urgency in our preparation, and then carry that over, you know, and travel well, because it is a long trip. Well, you know, we We took the red shirt off Lance Cloker, the true freshman from Owasso, Oklahoma, and then we should get back another young man from suspension this week. So I don't think we lost anybody. I mean, it's just normal bumps and bruises, but you know, we're going to put the best 5 out there and give ourselves a chance and have you know, probably some type of rotation set up where we really didn't have that last week. So maybe it was a blessing in some ways that we only had about 50 offensive snaps, that you know, we didn't jeopardize, you know, that depth too much. But you know, we're going to have to play our best game to date up front. Our young men know that, and we're going to need our quarterback and our skilled kids on offense to have, you know, their best game to date as well. So they run a very complicated style of defense, and they take pride in that. And you know, we're formulating the type of plan that we need to defeat that right now. Yeah, he's playing with a lot of confidence, both in the return game and at wide receiver. I think he had another 100-plus, 129 yards of all-purpose yards, coming off, I think, right at a 200-yard performance against McNeese. So he's catching the ball, he's attacking the ball, and then he's making himself a real presence in the conference and nationally as a return man. Very pleased with Winrick Smothers. You know, again, 20 of 27, 74%, 271 passing yards, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. The type of performance that we're going to need. He gets the ball out quick and he's decisive. He's got you know, 2.5 to 1 touchdown interception ratio, so he's playing extremely high level. Really pleased with the way the backs are playing. Backs are running hard. They're running their tracks. They're not always, you know, having the type of space that they need, but they're playing very physical. And what's been really good is they're catching the ball out of the backfield, making big plays for our quarterback and for our offense. So I've been pleased with you know, those 2 guys. But you know, Lewis had a big night catching the ball. Certainly, Kroom continues to assault the receiver record book, and so we've got to get those young men going. It was good to get Brett Soft back involved, and I really think Brett's poised to have a big week this week against Southeastern. He's got the type of size and the body type that he's proven over the last couple of years that in these type games he can play physical, and he attacks the ball very well in the pass game. So those guys are going to need to play well as the offensive line. Well, just very detailed. He's covering people. He's tackling very well. I think he overran a punt return at McNeese last week, but on defense, I don't believe he's missed a tackle in his 2 or 3 starts. He's playing very well with his eyes, and he certainly has a grasp on what Coach Wilhite and our defensive staff want done over there at corner, and it's made us better. And I thought Justin Love probably had one of his best games of the season. Very productive, played very physical, and that was good to see. And I thought Matt Hornbuckle, he had 8 total tackles, 7 unassisted tackles, and a tackle for loss. Played well up front too. So Woodard had another sack. He's leading the conference in sacks. So we just got to continue to improve over there. I mean, it starts with our mindset, and you got to play defense with a passion, and you got to play with energy, and you got to be able to trigger. You can't be thinking. And I thought in the second half we played a little bit tentative, and that's not the kind of style of football we want to play defensively. And I think that that'll be addressed this week in practice. Couldn't be happier for Kevin. He's worked awfully hard. I think statistically this was his best game of his career here at the university. I know he had a big night against Montana last year, but he's having his best season since he's been here, and certainly the last couple of weeks he's been very, very consistent. And again, field position's huge. It's very important, and we're going to need all of our specialists, to play at a very high level. He and Camara and all of our coverage and return units. But personally, very happy for Kevin because he's worked really, really hard to develop into a top-notch Division I punter, and we got to see the fruits of that labor on Saturday.